I can promise you this is the most versatile build in the game. This build can score at will without the help of left-right cheese, and I really do believe it can do everything on the floor and do it really well, including elite playmaking, 99 dunk. The defense is also elite at this size and can really play any position on the court. I'm not saying this is the best build in the game, but I am saying it's the most versatile and fun to use. It could be great for a solo player, or honestly any player who might need to will his team to victory and be able to put numbers in any category on the stat sheet. You can really see this build is crazy, and with the badges they have this year, even if I'm not getting Hall of Fame, I'm so effective because they've made lower badge levels so good this year in NBA 2K22. Now look, I'm going to give you guys the stuff I know from playing on this build for the entirety of Season 1 and from working with NBA 2K Lab. I know, it's a shameless plug, but I'm really not even kidding. Now make sure you watch the whole video because I'm going to go into detail for each category of my build and explain everything from why I put the ratings I chose to the animations and badges, and even some things you could tweak to make it completely unique to your own playstyle. Now if you're not subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. So to start, we of course have a small forward, and for my build, he's going to be 6'7" at minimum weight with maximum wingspan of 7'4". Now for body type, I usually go compact because I like my player to look like Mr. Fantastic, the Fantastic Four on defense, but you can do whatever you want when it comes to this option. The reason I'm going max wingspan is because this is the only 6'7" build that can get Hall of Fame pickpocket. No other 6'7" build at any other wingspan can get this, so that is why I chose that. Now first, I'm going to go over all the attributes of this build and why I chose them, and then I'll get into the badges and animations after that. So for finishing, it was really simple for what I wanted to do with my build, and this right here is the key to making this build however you want to make it. But for me, I wanted 99 driving dunk for Hall of Fame posterizer, which brought me to a 79 driving layup automatically. But by adding one more attribute into my driving layup, it gave me an 80 rating, which is good enough for an extra badge point, silver fearless finisher, and then an access to a variety of different layup packages. You can see these layup packages right on the screen. And basically it was pretty simple. I didn't invest too much into finishing, but I did want that 99 dunk. But I promise you the badges I get on this build are plenty for what I'm trying to accomplish. Now for shooting, I maxed my 3-ball of course, which goes to a 79, which is just short of Hall of Fame sniper, which of course is an S tier badge, and you can still get it on this build by putting 80 on your mid-range. But honestly, with the way shooting is this year, if you take smart shots, you can be a really efficient shooter even without the help of sniper. Now we looked at the ratings for 3-point attributes here at NBA 2K Lab and found out that there is a major boost to your 3-point success by just going from a 75 rating to an 83-point rating, and this 79 3-ball puts me at the higher end of that spectrum. Now for mid-range, I don't plan on taking too many mid-range shots, but by bumping it to a 73, I get a solid 20 badge points and even Hall of Fame fadeays for kicks. Now I bumped my free throw to an 80, so this build could also play Pro-Am without being a liability anywhere on the court. Now as we move to playmaking, off the rip I wanted gold bullet passer as a minimum, so I personally wasn't going lower than 85 pass accuracy. I'll go into detail on how you could change this build by lowering your pass accuracy if you wanted to go that route, but this is how I'm making my build. Now for ball handle, I went to an 80 rating to strictly get the animations I needed, and I'll be going over those animations toward the end of the video. But one thing I wish I did was go for an 81 ball handle for the reduced badge point cost for the gold stop and go. Since that's one of my main playmaking badges I like to use, that would be pretty beneficial for me. Now to do this without sacrificing much, you can lower your speed and stamina by just 1 point to gain that extra +1 to your ball handle, and then you can get that reduced badge point cost for gold stop and go. After that, I went with a 76 speed with ball because the way I set up my attributes, I'm not gaining any badge points or badge levels by going higher, and I don't personally see a huge difference in speed at this height. And honestly, with the right badges and animations, even this low of a speed with ball can really zoom. Now, so here I'm just trying to maximize my attributes down the line. Lastly, of course, we have defense, and for me personally, this is where I wanted to maximize my build, so I used the extra badge points from college and the level 39 badge point to give me 29 total defensive badges, which I think is really the key to this build. I made this build with two things in mind, right? So that's a 99 dunk and great stat stuffing defensive attributes. As I keep saying, this is my build, and like I said, I'll be giving you ways to change it into your build, but for my build, I didn't put anything in interior because I'm not setting many screens, and with my max wingspan, I'm more than able to make up for it when when playing post defense. I was saying before I wanted great stat stuffing defensive attributes, so I wanted max steal on this build to hawk the lanes and pluck the offensive player with Hall of Fame pickpocket and Hall of Fame interceptor. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is the only build at this height that can get Hall of Fame pickpocket. Now for my perimeter defense, I have an 86 rating, which gives me enough for Gold Menace, a badge that I don't even use, but at an 85 rating you get gold clamps. And with my other defensive attributes, I was trying to maximize attributes and badge points, so I set my block rating at an 83, which gives me some really nice badges like of course Gold Intimidator at 81, Hall of Fame Pogo if I need it, and lastly I have 82 defensive rebound, which is just barely enough for Silver Rebound Chaser, and with that comes Hall of Fame box, and of course these badges are really effective. Now for physicals, you'll definitely want to max out your speed and acceleration to make this guy a beast on defense and off ball, and make sure you have that 80 vertical for all the dunk packages. Definitely do not forget the 80 vertical. Now I had to settle for 87 stamina, which is still decent, but even with the 86 or 87 stamina, and I play on this build a lot, with Gatorade drills, boosts, and the handles for days badge on this build, I honestly can't tell much of a difference, and it works for me perfectly fine. So altogether, you have a 6'7", max wingspan, minimum weight, max speed, max excel, with a badge loadout of 19, 20, 25, and 24, or 28 defense if you end up using your 4 extra badge points there. Now if you did end up hitting level 39 last season and got that extra badge point, I also put that one in defense. You can do as you wish. Now I didn't go for badge count on this build, I strictly put attributes for the badge levels and animations that I wanted, and I really feel like I came up with a crazy, insanely special build. Now let's take a look at the badges that I'm using on this 6'7". All of these badges that I have on are suitable for how I like to play, but the badge flexibility within each category for this build is still crazy for any play style. Now let's start with the finishing. The main priority of this build was to maximize my dunking success with my 99 driving dunk, so of course I'm putting on Hall of Fame Posterizer with Hall of Fame Limitless Takeoff as my main badges, and assuming Slithery Finisher is anything as good as it was last year, I'm getting this on gold to give me some flexibility with other badges that I feel I need, such as Unstrippable and Lob City on bronze. And you can see I have bronze putback boss on as well, but with bronze putback boss I can unlock some crazy animations like in this clip right here, so it's a good badge to use if you're just trying to have some fun. You also have access to Hall of Fame Teardropper if you like floaters and some other good badges, but you can play around and find something that works best for you. Now when it comes to my shooting badges, I have a couple different loadouts, but this is my primary loadout for handling the ball and being able to create my own shot, and these badges are always subjective, but this is what I'm using. But starting off, we have Hot Zone Hunter, and I'm using silver, but I can recommend bronze at the bare minimum because that will help with slightly mistimed releases. You don't see much of a difference by going to silver, but I figured I might as well max it out. You can set it to bronze and change Rhythm Shooter to silver if you find yourself taking more of those shots, but this is just what I'm doing for my build. Now of course we have Sniper Badge, as high as we can get it, S tier, not much needs to be said about that. And then I have Catch and Shoot on silver, which according to our results at NBA 2K Lab, silver seems like a pretty good sweet spot for this badge as it looks very similar to the gold level. Next we have Corner Specialist, which I believe you should keep at a minimum of bronze on any build, and if you shoot a lot of corner threes, put this on gold and you might feel like you can't miss out there. Another badge for shot creation purposes is of course the Stop and Pop badge, and if I'm the primary or secondary ball handler, I'm trying to maximize this badge if I can. I'm maxing my Deadeye at silver and taking advantage of more bronze badges by using Green Machine since I see a lot of greens on this build, and of course one of my favorite bronze badges, Lucky Number 7. Now if you don't know about Lucky Number 7, this badge is an absolute glitch on bronze, so make sure to equip it in any case. Now if there are any other badges you want, you could probably take off Deadeye, Green Machine, or Rhythm Shooter to find something more suitable for your playstyle, but for me, I don't find myself taking many contested shots, so Deadeye might not be all the way worth it, and instead I might put on Bronze Clutch Shooter, which is a very good badge to have on in the park especially, and then I might roll with Gold Corner Specialist. And now we get to the good part, right? Like I said when I was going over playmaking, I wanted this build to have at least Gold Bullet Passer. Now whether I use it or not depends on if I'm in the park or playing Pro-Am. If I'm in the park, I like to drop the silver so I can focus more on dribbling and shot creation. If I'm in Pro-Am, passing windows are much smaller, so I would want to use that as high as I can. Then I got Hyperdrive on bronze. Hyperdrive will have you moving so fast, and you'll even be able to feel a difference at the bronze level. Quick first step must be maxed out on these builds, so have it on silver, and for me, Stop and Go on gold is the move. This is another badge that helps me move really quickly in and out of speed boost, so I try to get this badge as high as I can for my particular playstyle. It's also a badge that you can only unlock being 6'7" or shorter. 6'8" do not get this badge. Unpluckable on silver is the highest you can get on a 6'7 max wingspan, and ever since they nerfed on-ball steals, silver feels like a really good level to have anyway. Bronze bailout is an absolute must at a minimum on all builds, and I'm a huge advocate of having dimer on at least bronze, which can increase the make percentage of your teammates' missed time shots by a good amount. Now, glue hands is also a really good badge that I like to have on, and I try to always use it on at least gold and even Hall of Fame if I can wiggle it, because it's really not just a playmaking badge. It's great for all builds like bigs on the pick and rolls or shooters running the break, so it's definitely a really good badge to have. Next, I have tight handles, and I have this on bronze to get the occasional stun on my defender. The higher you get it, the more you'll stun your defender, of course, and then handles for days is a must if you're dribbling even a little bit, and if not, maybe you could take it off, and that'll give you more flexibility on badges that cater to your own play style, but I personally need that badge as high as it goes. Lastly, I have special delivery on bronze to enable alley-oops off the backboard. This is one you can also take off if you don't care for the extra animations, but I like to play a little bit flashy, so I keep it on. You honestly don't even need it to throw lobs if they're wide open. So for me, that's how I like to do it. Now, if you intend on playing more like a big, you can take those types of badges off and maybe put on break starter or post playmaker, because on this build, you'll still be grabbing a lot of rebounds. Now, as I mentioned before, I put my +5 badge points from college and level 39 strictly into defense and rebounding, as I feel this is the category that needs it the most given my max wingspan and defensive potential. I have 29 badges to play with, and we'll start at the top with ankle braces. Depending on if I'm playing on ball or off ball, I'll put it to gold, and if I'm playing off ball, I can get away with maybe bronze or silver, but the higher the badge is, the less of a chance you'll get stunned by ankle breaker or tight handles. Now, I religiously use chase down artist on bronze at the minimum to unlock the chase down animations, and if you pair that with bronze rim protector, I've really been seeing some crazy block animations out of this build. Now, I'm a fan of the hustler badge, but I don't see it as the end of the world if you're putting it on silver or bronze if you wanted to use those points elsewhere. The bump from silver to gold only costs 1 badge point, so for me, that's worth it. And another badge level that depends on if I'm playing on ball defense is Hall of Fame pickpocket. If I am, it's on Hall of Fame. If not, I turned it down to gold, and even with the recent nerf, I might just keep it on gold regardless. Next, we have ball stripper on bronze, which is usually pretty effective for me. Clamps is on silver at a minimum at all times for me, and if I'm on ball, of course, this goes to gold. Now, when we go to interceptor, this always has to be Hall of Fame, right? I maxed out my steal to get Hall of Fame pickpocket, but interceptor Hall of Fame is absolutely elite on this build, and I highly recommend always keeping it on. I have bronze box on to help my teammates rebound, and I always have on gold intimidator. Then I have pick dodger bronze, which is really effective for just 1 badge point, and rebound chaser as high as I can get it. Like I keep saying, there's a lot of flexibility within the badge loadouts you can have, and that's what makes this build so unique. Now let's take a look at these animations, and to explain it better, you can put these on and I'll try to teach you the basics of what I'm doing to get open and how I chain these badges and dribble moves to be the most effective through our handy controller cam. Now, I'm by no means a dribble god, but what I think people don't realize this year, especially because they're so enamored with 6 foot and under builds, is that these 6'7s can dribble really good even without 85 ball handle or gold quick first step. So let's get right into these animations. The first and most important move to the 6'7 is this move right here. Now, if the ball is in your right hand, you just move the right stick diagonal down left, and if it's in your left hand, it's diagonal down right, and this is with no turbo. It's a really simple move. Just practice this move and get it down pat. You should be able to get it pretty quickly. Now, once you get that down, now you add the speed boost, and this is also really simple, but you have to make sure you get the timing right. After the move, you can see as soon as the ball gets to my other hand, I'm holding turbo and I'm moving the left stick diagonally up left where I'm trying to go to. Another really easy move, and it's one of my favorites and easiest to blow by your defender, is literally while at a standstill, if the ball is in your right hand, all you have to do is hold turbo and move the right stick right, and you get a quick little hezzy, and it's really simple to speed boost out of that as well. You can start chaining these moves once you start learning them a little better. Now, once you start getting that speed boost down, it's time to attack the rim and finish the play, and once you start attacking downhill and gain some forward momentum, you can hit the moving behind the back to a dunk, and it gets really deadly. Now, essentially, this move keeps your straight line speed while shifting lanes, which makes it very hard for the defender to recover. You can use this move with or without turbo as long as you have some momentum, and it's another easy move to do. And to do it, once you gain that forward momentum out of the speed boost, if the ball is in your right hand, all you have to do is flick the right stick diagonal down left, and you'll get the move. Sometimes I'll get a different move, which I believe is because I didn't get the direction on my right stick perfectly where it needed to be. This just takes practice. And once you get these 3 moves down, you should be able to shake up your defender for some easy looks or dunks, or even draw the double to kick out to the open man. It's really hard to stop this build, and if they do, you have the playmaking to make up for it. Now, that's the basic dribbling on this build. If you want a more advanced tutorial, spam the comments. and let me know. Now here's where you can get creative and make this build into your own while keeping the same core philosophy. You can adjust these attributes to whatever you want, but to keep the core idea of this build that I made, there's 2 interesting attributes you can change without making a huge difference to the build and still keep the same exact shooting and defense with elite contacts. Those 2 things are lowering the 99 dunk to a 92, so you can still get all the dunks you normally would just without Hall of Fame Posterizer or Lob City, and or you can lower the pass accuracy from 85 to a 70 and still be able to get Silver Bullet Passer and Bronze Dimer, which we are very high on at NBA 2K Lab, as it increases some slightly mistimed shots by 15%. Now I don't personally recommend lowering pass accuracy, as I really think Gold Bullet Passer is worth it, and the extra playmaking badges are pretty crucial for my playstyle in particular. But if you're strictly playing lockdown, it might not hurt to transfer those attributes into defense or whatever category you prefer, which leaves you with a base badge loadout of 17, 20, 21, and 24. Now with moving those both around, I now have almost 4 extra overall points to work with, and the creativity here is endless. If you want more rebounding, you can start by setting his weight to 186 pounds, which unlocks Gold Rebound Chaser at a 91 defensive rebound. You can put in just enough interior defense, which unlocks Bronze Brick Wall, and that makes this build a 2-way pass first wing. A pretty baited build if you ask me. I don't think anyone's going to be able to think you could rebound like that on this build. Or if you want the name Perimeter Lockdown, you can follow this build here, which is back at 180 pounds, where I maxed interior defense and rebounding, which gives me 31 defensive badge points to start. Or you can go for Hall of Fame Clamps with 94 perimeter defense while still being able to max out your mid-range to an 84 and gain access to Hall of Fame Sniper, Gold Hot Zone Hunter, Gold Difficult Shots, and Gold Rhythm Shooter to become an extremely deadly shooter, making this build a 2-way slashing shot creator, a nightmare for any matchup. Or go on a different route where you like to play in the post and you want something of a Carmelo build, you can get an 85 post control for Hall of Fame Spin Technician and Hall of Fame Back Down Punisher, maybe put up 85 Driving Layup to unlock all the packages, and still be able to get Hall of Fame Sniper, making this build a 2-way finisher. Now don't forget, Hall of Fame Fade Ace is built into the core philosophy of this build, so literally there's so much flexibility, and I'd be surprised if you couldn't find something that you like. Now these are all examples, but it just goes to show that you really can do whatever you want with this build template. That is all we got for this 6-7 build guide. I really put a lot of time and effort into this build, so the least you guys could do is leave a like on the video. I appreciate everybody watching this. Thanks for watching. Spillboy of NBA 2K Lab, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.